Guys, welcome back to another edition of FSI's PGA Picks. I'm your host, TK Nation, bringing you some Euro Tour this week. I wanted to get this out last night, but I was working really hard late through the night and unfortunately couldn't make it through and too tired. But now I'm sitting here at the parking lot at work, and I'm going to bring to you some good British Masters picks from the Belfry, hosted by Danny Willett. He is in the field this week. I did listen to a couple interviews. He said the course is looking great. So I'm really looking forward to this week's event. There is a pretty cool, nice $12 GBP on DraftKings. With a couple, I think it's 5,000 to the top. We know that the rake is a little centered for a high finish. So we're going to try to bring you guys some good GBP picks, tier by tier. This course has hosted the Ryder Cup 4 times. Last time we saw it, it was hosting the UK Championship in 2020. That was won by a guy we'll talk about later. So let's get into this course. Par 72, 7,255 yard. It is the main course, relatively long. It's going to have some strategic hazards, some new tee boxes that have created some distance. So Danny Willett trying to not get his course that relatively plays short. He's not trying to get it overpowered. The weather will be a main factor this week. There's going to be a lot of rain and heavy winds in the forecast. So this was going to play a little bit like what we saw at the Austria Open, a few weeks ago, rather than kind of the birdie fest we saw in Spain and on the Canary Islands in the past couple of weeks. It's going to be completely opposite. Going to be a lot of carnage. Going to be playing for guys that can avoid bogeys, that are going to keep themselves out of trouble. So I'm going to really focus on guys that are typically playing like that. So let's get into it. For the 10K range, my favorite is unfortunately the highest price golfer, and that is Robbie McIntyre. 11-3. He did come in 12th at the Masters in his first appearance there. 3rd at the Omega Desert Classic. I really like McIntyre. 16th off the tee. He scores really well. He gets a lot of distance. 40th on the approach. 41st around the green. He does struggle with his putter, but he's 9th tee to green in the field in strokes gained. So I really like him. He did finish fairly well in a lot of events this year. Robbie McIntyre is one of the best Euro Tour golfers. So it comes to no surprise. I'm going to have to fit him in. Unfortunately, when you go McIntyre, you're going to have to drop down into the 8K, 7K range immediately, given the high price tag. But I think he's well worth it. Definitely a guy from Scotland, lefty. He's going to have some advantages. And so, yeah, I like him. Another guy I like in the 10K range is a GPP play is Sam Horsfield, a guy that's really come on as one of the better in the field lately. The English product, 10-3 on his price tag. He did miss at the Valspar, but he only missed by 1. He missed on the number, so I think he's fairly good, in fairly good form. Just had to cross the pond and then cross back over. So he's been traveling a lot, so I give it up to that. I mean, he gave it a good effort. 15 at the Austrian Open. A couple of other top 5 finishes on tour this year on the European circuit. 7th on the approach, 11th tee to green. We're talking about a very excellent ball striker. 9th with his putter as well, 65th off the tee, so he's pretty good as far as gaining strokes off the tee. Horsfield's going to be a menace in this field. I really like him for years to come as well. So big shout out to him. And wild card here for the 10K range, I don't mind Martin Keimer. I like that experience. He's probably played on a few of those Ryder Cup teams in the past. Third in the Austria Open as well. So give me some Martin Keimer as well. 9K, Rasmus Højgaard. He did win that UK Championship I alluded to at the top in 2020. 9.8 price tag, 9th at the Omega Desert Classic. Another tough course typically. 12th at the Austrian Open, so he's got some really good pedigree in some terrible conditions. 73rd off the tee, 9th on the approach, 20th tee to green. He does struggle around the green and on the putting surface, but I think a lot of people are going to be struggling when it comes to those categories. What I really want to see is how well are you off the tee, how well are you getting the ball up and down tee to green. So I like him at 9.8. From a balance point of view, you probably can't go McIntyre, Højgaard, so you're going to have to maybe go Keimer, Højgaard. I think those are some solid 2 options to start your lineups with. I think Schwab sets up for a decent GPP play at 9.6, 7th at the Austrian Open, 9th at the Omega Desert Classic. He does struggle to get off the tee, which is a problem, but he's really good on his approach shots. 16 tee to green. It just tells you how well he does when it comes to his approach. 48th on the around the green, and he is not a very good putter. So we're going to really hope that the softer conditions on the greens benefits him with the rain in the forecast. So I do like Schwab as a GPP play. Honorable mention in the 9K range, Detry, Adri Arnaus, and then a wild card. I do like Thorbjorn Olsen, a guy that had made his return after a lengthy exit from the European Tour. So he's had a couple top 15s, but those were birdie fests. Let's see how he stacks himself up against some tougher conditions before we get too crazy with the Olsen. I'd reserve it for just maybe a GPP dart. But, hey, a couple of good events, good finishes might lead to some higher confidence. 8K range, JB Hansen at 8.7, 9th at the Qatar Masters. He had back-to-back top 25s. But those were birdie events, just for the disclaimer. Really struggles off the tee, but he's great on the approach as well, just like we talked about with Schwab. He's not that well tee to green, but certainly a guy I have no problem with some upside. He did finish really well last year at the end of the, I think it was actually, it was in the December-January finish on the European Tour. Battling with Matthew Fitzpatrick and Lee Westwood. I remember those close finishes. JB Hansen kind of defies the statistics. I don't mind him at 8.7. A guy that I feel really confident coming in, and I really love the price tag, is Maximilio Kiefer at 8,200, second at the Austrian Open, and then he finished second at one of the Canary Island events. He does have some really good form, 88th off the tee, 58th on the approach, 43rd tee to green, 65th around the green. I think he's been playing really well to kind of distance himself from some of those stats. I think they're more skewed toward how he opened up the season. So Kiefer is going to be in a great amount of my lineups, probably some of my $12 GBP builds. Eddie Pepperell is my honorable mention here. He's been really working hard on his game. He's been trying to get better on his physique, and he's been working out. If you haven't been following him on Twitter or Instagram, he's really putting in a lot of work. I do like Eddie Pepperell. Decent bet too to win. English guy. He's going to have some roots here, so I like him. 7K range, Marcus Artemage at 7,900, fourth at the Austrian Open. English, five of his 7 cuts made this year. 68th on the approach. Really good putter. English, I like him. Will Besseling, 7,900, fourth at the Austrian Open. For a while, people thought he was going to win. Just kind of fell apart down the stretch. Four out of his last 5 cuts. Not that great on his ball striking numbers. Kind of done everything with his putter. That could set up for a decent fade because I believe he's going to have some ownership. But I'm going to play Besseling after that Austrian Open finish. My wild card here that I like is Maverick Antcliffe. He was second last week. He made the cut at the Austrian Open, 7,300. He finished 19th at Qatar. He's got some upside in him. He looked really good last week. I know that was a birdie fest, but I think he's going to ride in some of that confidence. Australian, so he's good. He plays well in the windy conditions. I'll just rattle off some honorable mentions here. Zanotti, Jordan L. Smith, English guy. Pep Engels, he's veteran on tour. And then my long shots down here at the bottom of the 7K range. Nikolai van Dessling-Schozen. A Netherlands guy. I can't pronounce his name. But he's 7,200, I believe. And then Wu Ashen at 7K. And for the 6K range, I'm just going to rattle off some favorite guys here. I always play Reese Enoch, a guy that can really fill up the scorecard with birdies. He does well for DraftKings scoring. Garrett Porteous, Alejandro Del Rey Gonzalez. He's got some really good finishes. I think he finished pretty well at the Austrian Open. Van Driel, I like him. And Marcel Schneider, another 2 guys that finished pretty good on the Austrian Open. Okay, guys, that'll do it for my edition of the European Tour picks. Please like and comment below. Any questions you have, you can find us on our Discord channel at FSI_DFS. That link is in the bio. and you can get a core lineup, a player pool, and any questions you need to help filling out your lineup. And if anything else, please give our PGA video that came out last night a like, and then give us a comment below. So thank you. Keep listening, and good luck this week in your contest.